Listen. I will tell you more of the Saga of Noggin the Nog, as it was told in days of old by the men of the Northland as they sat by their great log fires. I told you how Noggin, prince of the Nogs, had to find a queen before he could be king. And he looked at all the maidens of the Northland, and he couldn't find one that he would marry. And I told you how a green bird called Graculus brought him a knife with a likeness of Nuka, princess of the Nooks, carved on it. And Noggin saw the carving, and vowed that he would build a ship and sail to the land of the Nooks, and ask Nuka to be his queen. And so the great ship was built, a fine long ship of oak from the inland valleys, with a pine tree mast and a prow in the form of a green dragon. And it was launched from the beach before the town, and the warrior oarsmen rowed it away down the long fjord to the sea. And everybody there was sad to see them go, and afraid for their safety on their long and perilous journey. Everybody save one. In his black castle on the hill, Nogbad the Bad looked down on the brave little ship and smiled a wicked smile. For he knew that if Prince Noggin did not return with his queen within 6 weeks, the crown would go to the next in line. And the next in line was him, Nogbad the Bad. And he knew the journey to the land of the Nooks was so long and dangerous there was little chance of Noggin ever coming back at all. And as Nogbad the Bad looked down on the little town, he thought of the royal treasure and the taxes, and he chuckled to himself. As the ship sailed out to the end of the long fjord and into the open sea, the cold east wind blew on it. The oarsmen shipped their oars and hauled up the sail. The great square sail was red and gold, with the crest of Noggin and the face of Nuka. And the wind blew on the sail and filled it until the ropes were tight, and the ship cut through the dark water, as swift as a seagull riding the wind. Through all that day, the east wind bore the ship on. And through the night, hull down, it rode before the wind. And the helmsman lashed the rudder to hold the helm to the North Star. And the little band of Nogs sat round their stove in the canvas cabin and made hot buttered toast. All the next day and all the next night, the wind blew them on. And not a sight or a sound of anything but sea and sky did they see. And the next day the wind dropped slightly, the sun came out, and it was really quite hot. So the warriors took off their boots and dangled their feet in the water. Ooh, that's cold. And they had sardines for lunch, and everybody was gay and happy, because Graculus said they were well on their way, and if the wind kept up they would soon reach the land of the Nooks. But as the sun set that night, great black clouds came up, and suddenly the wind seemed to come from all directions at once. And as the oarsmen pulled the sail down in case the ship capsized, great waves sprang up around them, tossing the little ship about like a cork. The lightning flashed, the thunder roared, and the Nogs sat huddled round their stove and prayed that the ship would not sink. Care for a ship's biscuit, Graculus?
Oh, well, no, thank you, Noggin. As a matter of fact, I'm not feeling any too well.
Oh, my dear bird, whatever's the matter?
A touch of seasickness, I think. You know, it really is rather rough, and I feel a bit of...
And Graculus toppled over and lay still in the bottom of the boat. Oh dear, Graculus has fainted. They picked the bird up and made a little bed for him in the corner of the cabin. And Graculus lay there with his eyes closed, looking greener than ever. The dawn came, the storm blew past, and all was calm. The oarsman hoisted the sail and looked at it. But no wind came to fill the sail. It hung limp on the mast, and the ship stayed where it was, still in a calm, still sea. We must row. Lower the oars and row. The oarsman lowered the oars and sat by them. Which way, Noggin? How do you mean, which way? Which way do you want us to row? Well, which way were we going? I don't know. They looked to the sky, and they looked to the sea, but there was nothing to tell them which way to row. Oh dear, we'll have to ask Graculus. Graculus was still lying on his bed, quite unconscious. They tried to wake him up, but he just muttered silly things. I'll have smoked salmon, please. No more mud till Wednesday, do you mind? And went off to sleep again. Well, we'd better not row in case we row the wrong way. It would be silly to row and end up where we started, wouldn't it? So the Nogs got out their fishing rods and sat in the sun and fished. They didn't catch anything, but it passed the time. Land, ho! Land? 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 And there, sure enough, not far away, was a small island, a smooth grey island in the sea. Well, I don't call that much land. Still, we'd better have a look. So they rowed the ship over to the island. Thornogson, the chief oarsman, swung out on a davit and landed on the island. Ooh, it's all soft and squodgy, and there's a sort of fine brown grass growing on it. Explore the island, Thornogson. Explore it? I can see both ends of it from where I'm standing. There's nothing on it but this grass stuff. Well, pluck a handful of it. Thornogson got hold of a handful of the grass and pulled as hard as he could. It's no good. It won't come up. Throw me a spade and I'll dig it up by the roots. So they threw Thornogson a spade. And he started to dig. Help! An earthquake! The end of the island reared up suddenly in a hill, and a great cry was heard to come from it. And a great head, with huge teeth and whiskers, rose up out of the water in front of them.